From there we went out of Pretoria. We followed the route that the Boers had fled after the fall of Pretoria, and we ended up on this ridge of mountains. One of those mountains was Diamond Hill, the Battle of. This was the last of the formal engagements between the Boers and the British. And to my surprise, when we got to the top of this mountain, or it looked like a mountain from a distance, but when you got to it, it wasn't that steep, but there was an Afrikaner village. You had to go through these gates, and the men manning the gates were Afrikaners. They were whites in semi-paramilitary grey uniforms. There were statues to Verwoerd and Kruger. They were very polite. There were some shops we stopped to. We were going to get a coffee, but in the end we needed a soft drink. And all the signs are in Afrikaans. All the shops are run by Afrikaners. Didn't see any Africans there. That's not to say that there aren't Africans. Anyway, so we went to this monument, and you can look right out over the the approach to Pretoria. You can see where Roberts was coming up the centre and French off to the left flank. Alan went to effort to show me where the Australians were coming along, and he pointed out that Breaker Morant had been serving with can't remember who it was, at Paul Carew, I think, on the right flank, and Paul Carew said that Morant was one of the best horsemen he'd ever seen. So we enjoyed that.
What? They've got a bust of wood there.
This is the road leading to Diamond Hill, is it?
Yes.
Currently on top of that ridge that we were looking at from down on the freeway there. When you get up here, it's not as steep as it looked from down there. I have to say, it's not what I expected. I certainly didn't expect an Afrikaner settlement up the top here. But gated community, which is fairly common. It's called Galagos Country Estate. Beautiful. Some fruit and veg being grown up here. In there I see beautiful ferns and greenery. Oh, here we go. Ons God, ons volk, ons A. One God, one people. I'm not sure what A means. This is Kleinfontein. What does A mean? E-I-E.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's home?
Home. It's our own.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So we're actually on the ridge of Diamond Hill. This is a little cemetery. This is an Afrikaans settlement up here, which you probably wouldn't hear about. And these are the residents that have died whilst living up here. You will not find any English signposting. They're probably reluctant to even speak English. But, they would if you came up. I asked Alan if anyone can come up. It's no secret that they live up here. But and thanks to them, they've managed to preserve the place, because Alan tells me that the ANC, the Africans, have no regard at all for any previous white history. To them it's irrelevant. So that's the view looking down to the city of Pretoria, where the British were coming at you, and the Boers knew they were coming. The Boers knew sort of, the formation they'd take, and you had all the big names here. We'll get Alan to go through the names again of all the Boer Transvaal leaders. Oh look, there's a beautiful monument here, and here's some English for us. We're going to read this out. The Anglo-Boer War Battle of Diamond Hill was the largest military engagement in the history of Pretoria. On the farm of Donkerhoek, Dark Corner, it's called the Battle of Donkerhoek. Part of the British strategy to drive the Boer forces after the capture of the capital. On the 9th and 10th of June, Botha's force took up positions on the hills east of Pretoria to block the road and the railway. And there was a prominent feature called Diamond Hill where diamonds had been discovered. Roberts attacked on the 11th and 12th of June, succeeded in taking Diamond Hill. Botha feared that this would enable the British to capture other positions, so they broke off the engagement and evacuated. And the British had succeeded in driving away the Boers from Pretoria. Oh wow, look at that. This is it for the Aussies. Between 1899 and 1902, over 16,000 Australian volunteers served in the Anglo-Boer War. 597 were killed, 538 wounded in action, including here at Diamond Hill, where for the first time Australian troops from all the states fought in the same battle. They were the nucleus of the Australian Army, established in 1901 with the Federation. Many of the digger traditions and values born on the veldt has sustained generations of Australian servicemen and women in peace and war. Wow. Didn't know about that. Do you want to hold that on? Yeah, right.
There we go.
Okay.
And that was unveiled on Anzac Day in 2002.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know what Alan was pointing at. I'm glad he did. I would have left here and they go, did you see the, no, what? Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at these. So this was the 11th of June. Okay, what we've got is we've got Pretoria over there, which is behind your back now. That's where Pretoria is. Okay. We've got Polkaroo coming down the centre. We've got French on the right flank. Okay, and we've got Hamilton on the left flank. We've got down here, you've got de Lille's mounted infantry. So this is where the Australians were. So the Australians were right around the corner there on the first day. You had a couple of Australian horse with French. Remember the other day you mentioned Hutton to me?
Yeah.
Okay, Polkaroo came down here. He had the New South Wales Mounted Infantry 1st Brigade Battalion with him. But the rest of the Australians were here with de Lille's Mounted Infantry.
De Lille's the one who took the white flag in?
Yes, he's the guy who took, one of his men took the white flag into Pretoria.
He accepted the capitulation of Pretoria. Okay.
Okay, so what we've got here is we've got Kleinfontein Ridge, is this ridge here. So this estate is named after that ridge being Kleinfontein Ridge. So if you can have a look, the de Lille in relation to Kleinfontein Ridge, he was around the corner.
Right. Okay.
So what you've got at the end of day one, Delaray has actually overpowered French. So Delaray has got this position secured. Botha is battling here because what has happened is that de Lille, the CIV, are actually making inroads into Diamond Hill. So they are actually, yeah, the CIV are on the other side of Kleinfontein Ridge. And if you read any reports about them, were trying to get their artillery up. There's a sheer drop down at the other side of this flat ridge that you think. There is a sheer drop.
Yeah.
All right, so Botha then, at the end of day one, so battles never happened overnight. What happened is that once sunset, everybody went back to where they were, made plans for the following day. Botha called for reinforcements from Delaray. All right, so Delaray had to give up that position. So this is the 11th of June. We're now going to have a look at the 12th of June.
I'm thinking Delaray doesn't have many to spare. He's got his hands full.
Yeah. So what happened, you now see, Delil has made inroads into Diamond Hill.
You're going to flank him.
That's right. The CIV are coming up. So that was a position at 1300. This is a position at 5 o'clock.
Sorry, who were the CIV again?
City Imperial Volunteers.
Right.
They were the yeomanry from London.
Yeah, right.
All right. So what happens now is that Diamond Hill is here. We're standing here. You've got the Australians here. You've got the rest of the troops here. And Botha decides, where at nightfall he's had enough. By that stage, the Long Tom has gone on the railway line. Delaray goes off. Botha goes off. Tobias Smuts. One of the reasons why. Oh, I haven't got it on the other map. These positions here were occupied by a commando under the command of Tobias Smuts, and he had decided that he had had enough, and he withdrew.
And left a hole in the defences.
That's it. Those are the casualties per day.
Yeah. Not that many. We don't know the Boer casualties.
So do you want to walk up to the cemetery?
Yeah, I do. Just gonna get out of the shade for a moment. So that direction over there is where the Australians were hooking around. Now, where was Hutton, did you say? That's where Delaray was up there. And Botha was down there.
Botha was up here. So
Okay.
if you have a look here.
Remember we saw Botha's walking stick? Okay.
So this here is the British cemetery. That there is the memorial to the Boers.
Ah.
And if you want to, we can walk up.
Yeah, we can. You're going to hear me breathe then, folks. Okay.
And from there, you get a fantastic view.
Yeah. Well, we got to do it then. No question. And they've respected the British graves here and looked after them. Renosterkop. Private Pidcock. The Derbies. Don't know why they're on the gate, but they are. That's an impressive one. Okay. Captain Charles. Yeah, okay. Killed in action at Diamond Hill. He was the son of a preacher, by the look of it. The son of a... Or maybe I'm thinking of that Dusty Springfield song. Renoster Cop. I think this is a New Zealander of Wanganui. He's a sergeant. I think when we were coming along the freeway, Alan said that this whole ridge, which stretches for miles and miles with one battle after another, and I suspect when I ask him, he's going to say, yeah, Renoster Cop, which was another one I wanted to see. Lazenby. Is just another one of the battles along this ridge where the Boers tried to stop them, and it was here that I think they decided, look, we can't outgun these British. I mean, this Battle of Diamond Hill, as we saw before, the Boers were hopelessly outnumbered. They had no chance in hell. This is a Canadian. Duke of Wellington's regiment was killed on the 29th of November whilst gallantly leading his battalion against the Boer position. Lieutenant Colonel C. Lloyd, I wonder if he was the one that Alan had a picture of. Balmoral is another battle. These were pitched battles, you know, with cannon and programs of British soldiers who died in the surrounding districts now lie here at Diamond Hill. There's a whole heap of them. Alan, that one there, Lieutenant General, is he the one that was on your map? This fella here, he's a Lieutenant General. Oh, Lieutenant Colonel, sorry.
No, he wasn't on my map.
Okay. Was it him? Earl of Airlie? This is the fella who was, as he had always desired, killed in action at the head of his regiment, June the 11th, 1900. Our Finn means, I think, you're finished, mate. Kaput. Oh, here's an Aussie. Australian contingent, 1900, Trooper Pace. Sergeant Pemberton, the Canadian Scouts, killed in action. You know, June, sorry. The Lancers, Private Baker, Lionel Henry Dudley Fortescue, 17th Lancers, that just shall contribute in thy sight. Another New Zealander back there on the fence line. Hugh Cavendish, 17th Lancers. He was only 17. Charles William. What an exciting way to go. They would have been mounted on his steed with his lance behind him. They would have signalled to charge. It's what he'd been waiting for all this time. Royal Scots Greys. All Lancers, Coldstream Guards, the Derbies, the Hussars. They had fantastic uniforms, the Hussars. And this one just says a British soldier. You don't know who he is. Known unto God, they say. Oh, here's a Victorian, a mounted rifle, Private Clark. He's a Victorian. You'll be interested to know Collingwood finally won the flag, mate. This Canadian's got a horseshoe. Frost.
This guy wasn't killed here.
No?
He was reinterred there. So he was killed in action on the 5th of July, 1900.
Right.
In fact, he might have died of disease. We need to look at my records.
Now, when we were coming up the freeway, you were saying that there was a whole series of battles fought along this long
Yes.
and one of those is Renostakop, is it?
No, the Renostakop that you're thinking about is about 40 kilometers from here.
Ah, okay.
So Renostakop wasn't part of the Battle of Diamond Hill.
Ah.
No. But the guys who are here from Renostakop have been reinterred.
Right.
So that officer that you asked me about just now was either killed or died with disease on the 19th of November, which is 6 months after this battle.
Because there's far more men here than what are listed as casualties at Diamond Hill.
Yes. So what you've got to do is really just look at the dates on that.
Yeah.
slab.
the Munster Fusiliers. And really, there wouldn't be a body under there. They've just found that out and bought the head cross here. Right.
They would have, and I don't know, I'm going to have to, but the ashes would have been brought here, or the remains.
Right.
They're probably underneath there.
A mass grave.
A mass grave, yeah. And commemorated with different crosses. So that cross on the gate there, instead of them putting it like down the collar, they just put it on the gate.
So here we've got Mackenzie. I think we just saw him. The mounted rifles. The West Riding, some unknown soldiers, some Queensland Bushmen. We've got Trooper Wright, the New Zealanders, the New South Wales Bushmen, the Hussars, the Royal Horse Artillery, the Munsters, the South Australians. The Munsters are from Ireland, Northern Ireland, I think. Okay.
So the story with Morant, if you're interested, Morant was with Dello, but Morant was, in this battle, he was more like a dispatch rider. So he was communicating with Hamilton, Polkaroo and French regarding what was happening in the different positions.
Right.
And that's why Delille said he was the finest horseman that he had come across. So he would have been riding kind of behind Kleinfontein, out of the sight of the Boers, Polkaroo, have a chat to him, go across to French, tell French what's happening, come back and tell Karoo what's happening with his battle. So very active here, Breaker Morant.
And we don't hear at all about that aspect of his horse service.
No. Right, let's walk up the hill.
Right, this is going to be interesting. Okay, thanks. This camera then might have struggled to pick up your talking, and yet it'll pick up my breathing like this. So this is what we came for. Now folks, you can see first day I went up the veld I was wearing flip-flops, and that has never been repeated. I'm still pulling things out of my feet. Okay. And who's coming from there? Polkaroo. Australians round the corner.
When you get to the top, you'll be able to see them.
Right. Okay. So you can imagine, you got your kit bag on, or you've at least got a rifle over your shoulder, and you've got bandoliers of ammunition. Add to that sharpshooter Boers with state-of-the-art Mausers and the African sun, and you're from England. There's hell on earth. Stop again.
Nearly there.
Yep. Coming down will be easy. Hang on a minute. vegan.
It's just a shed.
All right. Wow. Guys, this is a killer. Oh, fuck. Climbing is over. Wow. We're at the Boer monument. And it's a view, of course, of Diamond Hill. These are the dead.
So this was erected in June 2000, and what is listed on there are the different commandos. Those aren't people, those are just the different commandos that fought. So they were the commandos that made up the 6,000 Boers who were stretched along this 40-kilometre defensive line.
And you can see there's the Boksburg commando where I'm staying at the moment. You can also see down there the military cemetery we just came from. Yeah, it's worth it now, folks.
There's where the Aussies take where the green roof is, over the green roof.
Yeah, there's a green roof there, over there. Just beyond that were the Aussies. But yeah.
So day one they were behind that position there, couldn't be seen.
Yeah.
On day two they were probably where this clump of trees is here. That's where they were. And that's at the end of day two they were there, and that's when Botha decided to go.
Is Botha where we're standing more or less?
Yeah.
Botha was up here.
I mean this is a great position.
Yeah. Oh, you'd think so. Where was the Long Tom?
Long Tom was over there on the railway line.
Right.
About 2 kilometres behind us.
Was being used?
Yes. But it wasn't being used effectively when the troops were this close.
No.
It was only being used effectively when they were behind Kleinfontein Ridge and down there. Remember, there was only one Long Tom.
Yeah.
It was on a railway truck.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult to manoeuvre. You know, if you wanted to shoot there and then you wanted to shoot here, that took certainly a couple of hours to reposition that
Try.
Long Tom.
Yeah. Wow.
Whereas the British had 6 heavy pieces of artillery out there.
Yeah, and if you're firing up to the top of a ridge, it's a lot easier to lob your shells up there. when you can see where the activity is. Wow. Oh guys, just about captured me on video then, having a cardiac arrest, but I'm back on track. Yeah, the breathing is now slowed up. Wow. Oh, there's a flagpole here. They probably raise the try clear, is it?
Yes.
Every Kruger Day or something?
Well, centenary of the battle, or anniversary of the battle. So 11th, 12th of June every year.
Right.
Better battlefield where you get a perspective of what really happened.
Really?
Well, yeah, you can picture it. It's Roberts coming up here.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can be seen. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not travelling with 100 men. There are 14,000 Brits.
14,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Centre, left, and right flank. The right flank you can't see from here. Delaray's got them under control.
Yeah.
Delaray's keeping them busy.
Right.
So Paul Carew is coming straight up here. Hamilton is down there. The CIV Australians.
Was it French over there on the far right?
Yes.
Okay.
French and Hutton.
Hutton, yeah. So, okay, turn this baby off. I'm in Afrikanerdom. This is this village they're all Afrikaans people running Afrikaans shops. All the signs are in Afrikaner. And we're going to one of their shrines. Some of you have heard of a little place called Oranje, where the Afrikaners have built a settlement just for themselves. This is a smaller version of that. So, I'm not sure how we get in. Can we get in? Okay. I bought myself an equivalent of a Fanta grape. Coffee shop was closed. Here we go. Okay. This is a monument to Blood River. 16th of December 1838. The day of the Covenant. This is something about Jan van Riebeeck, who discovered the Cape, or landed at the Cape. And Paarden Kraal, I'm not sure what that's about. So we got Hendrik French Verwoerd. Now, he was assassinated when Dad's girlfriend, who was a in-the-belly woman called Priscilla, used to get drunk. She used to rant at Dad. If Dad told her off for her drinking or her craziness, she'd say, "Hey, I didn't kill Verwoerd. Oh, here comes security. I might be in trouble. There's Kruger." Excuse me, meneer, is okay? Is this okay or no?
That's fine. No problem.
Oh, thank you.
Where are you from?
Australia.
Okay, no, you're more than welcome.
Thank you,
Have
mate.
you been down to the...
Yes, I'm still.
Okay, that's nice to do.
Thank you. There's one of the. Shut up, Jerry. This is President Kruger. Staatspräsident van die Zaar. So these are their heroes, yeah. So Priscilla used to say, "Hey, I didn't kill Verwoerd." Verwoerd was assassinated by some crazy coloured guy, I think, in the Parliament. Okay, well, we'll close this now. And we'll turn the camera off. We're off to warm baths now.